Okay, we are back. I have a new shirt on. I've only got this one in one color. Today we're talking about make your moves and make your mark. So if you haven't watched the other videos, there's two other ones so far since I've been recording these. Go back and watch them. The first one is titled Stop Playing the Game or Don't Play the Game, something like that. The second one is zero competition formula for coaches. And this one is obviously called Make Your Moves and Make Your Mark. Just to quickly summarize the other two videos. In the first video, I spoke a lot about how the coaching industry online is in a state. It's actually a shit show. It's a race to the bottom where we are consumed with this competition on lifestyle, and we've forgotten about what coaching is. We're not digital marketers. We are not influencers. We are coaches. And we need to start to remind people about what the coaching industry is actually all about. So that's the first one. The second one, the zero competition formula, I spoke a lot about clarity. I spoke a lot about confidence, and I spoke a lot about how to fully express your brand and what makes you unique. So if you haven't watched those, go back and watch them. Wherever you're watching this, you'll find the others. And today, as I say, make your moves, make your mark. So in the last video, we spoke a lot about how can you figure out what is your sweet spot? Then how can you monetize that? Then how can you, like, making sure you're bulletproof confident around the fact that you can deliver on promise, like make a big promise, make sure you can keep the big promise, and then fully express it. So you've got this stuff in place now, right? If you haven't already, DM me, you need some help and I can help you. So we spoke about that. Now that you've got that stuff in place, I want you to think about what is the next move you need to make? What is the move you think you need to make to put yourself on the map? And let me give you some examples of what that looks like. Over the years, I have done different things that have created quantum leaps in my business. Back in 2014, I decided to launch a $25,000 mastermind program. It was 12 months long. I had never done anything at that time before, but I've been coaching Taekwondo students and online fitness students for that period of time, but I'd never done anything in the high ticket space. And so I created this system. I did it my way. I just went, you know what? I'm going to run some events for lunch. I created what I was looking for. I wanted to go to an event that wasn't like, in Australia, we have this thing called Business Chicks, and you go to those events and there's hundreds of people there and the timeline is pretty packed and you don't really get an opportunity to speak with people. You don't feel like it's an intimate environment. It's basically like this mass market thing, right? Which is fine. It has its place. I love some of their events. But what I was craving was sitting in a smaller room, spending the day with some like-minded people, learning something incredible, along with people that were on the same journey as me. I couldn't find it, so I created it. And I created some events called Let's Do Lunch. And it was about $350, and it was a workshop. And I spoke on like 4 or 5 different topics. And we had a section before lunch. We had lunch in a dining room, which was amazing, and a glass of wine. And then we did a section after lunch. And then I moved people into my mastermind at the end of that day. I did 2 of those events. I filled my first mastermind, and my launch was around 200,000 Australian, because I was still charging Australian dollars back then. And that was a big move. And that put me on the map. Because suddenly, not only did I have this mastermind, and not only had I figured out a system that worked for me, that felt good, and I created something I was really proud of, it also prompted me to start talking about what I just did. Hey, I just launched this mastermind. I just had this freaking epic success. And like, this is how I did it. And it put me on the map because people, that mastermind was a hybrid. It was in person once a month and online. The modules were online, but I taught on anyway, it doesn't matter, details. But that opened the door to my online business really elevating, because suddenly I was selling programs on how to launch your signature high ticket offer, how to sell your mastermind and things like that. It kind of thrust me into the industry or the niche that I wanted to be in. It was a big move. and I made my mark. It changed everything for me. And it still actually has influence today. I'm trying to think of some of the other big moves that I've made, but that was the most significant one. It was huge. Another move that I made was when I decided to go and explore filling rooms and speaking from stage and selling from stage. That was a big move. It elevated everything for me. It was part of that. Remember I spoke about, really leaning into the lifestyle stuff to build my brand. I was flying business class around the world. I was speaking on stage. It was a pretty amazing time. And it elevated something in me and people were paying attention. Now, I'm not saying that I want to do that again because I've already spoken about the lifestyle stuff. I've spoken about the fact that I've, made a rule with myself. I'm not traveling for 14 months. I'm not, things like that. But that might feel right for you right now because the energy is going to do that. But make sure it comes from an authentic place. Make sure you're making the move for you and because you know it's going to expand you, and then share what feels aligned. I'm not saying you can't share that stuff, but let's make sure that the messaging that we go forward with is predominantly about coaching and the coaching industry and the impact of coaching. The lifestyle stuff should be like ancillary, right? It can add to it if it feels aligned, but let's be better than that. Let's not just sell the lifestyle. Let's sell the other things. So what is a move that you were prepared to make? So I was ready to do the selling from stage again. I did it, the last time I did it was around, I think it was 2019, where I ran some events just in Australia. I filled some events here around Melbourne, and then sold people into, back at the time I had a mentorship program running. And again, it elevated me. I did it differently. I was going to do that again this year, but I've got a problem with my ads account and it's limited. I can only spend like $38 a day. You need to spend a lot more than that if you're going to fill a room. So I feel like I'm ready to do 3.0 version of that and blow it out of the water. That feels like the next move I need to make. I feel like it's going to help me make my mark in a bigger way, a more significant way. And I'll do that early next year now because I need to get my ads account restriction lifted. Don't even know how I got the restriction, but you know what it's like trying to get to the bottom of Facebook and their fucking shenanigans. Like it just doesn't happen. So I'm plan Bing it right now. But I want you to think about what would be a move that you could make. Maybe it's writing a book. Maybe it's launching a new program. Maybe it's changing your niche entirely. Maybe it's putting your price up. Maybe it's like 10xing your prices and then putting yourself in a whole new bracket. Highly recommended, by the way. Think about what the move is. What is it? What is the move? And then go and make that move. Make it happen. You don't have to have the whole picture mapped out, but I do recommend that you get crystal clear on the vision. Like, what is this? What does it look like? Why are you doing it? Is your reason good? Does it feel good? And then how can you make the first move? What's the first step? What's the first thing that you can do? And then start doing it. Because if you start to follow your nose, if you start to trust your instincts and follow what feels right, so much momentum is gained, right? And we know how important momentum is. We know what momentum does for us and we know what it does for our business, but we know what it does for us. Like it feels good when we feel like we're, oh yeah, things are happening. I'm making progress. The signs are everywhere that the next big thing is about to occur. Like that is the energy we want to be in. It's the energy that we want to bring to our clients as well. It's the energy that we want to bring online. So many people over the last few months have said, I can see big things happening. I can see you making moves, really love what you're doing right now. And the irony is I have never been less visible. I've never created less content. So my move right now is to less is more. I'm working behind the scenes. I'm creating big things in my business. Instead of spending time writing content, I am writing my next book, because that will be captured and that will be valuable. Whereas so much content these days is just like going in the gutter, right? We create it and it just goes into a big black bottomless pit. We're not getting the same reach that we used to get, you know, all those things, right? And it's like, if I'm not playing that game, so I'm not creating tons of content that I'm, you know, that comes from my soul to go on my Instagram feed to be read by 6 people. I'm just not doing it. So I will create content and I will keep doing the things that feel good to me, but the majority of my focus is writing my next book and the other books that follow that. The other big move that I'm getting ready to make, as I said, is doing my live events again. The other big move that I'm about to make is I'm about to launch a new program. There are just so many moves that I'm making behind the scenes. I've been hiring a team and really leaning into my CEO era. That's my biggest move. I'm really embracing the CEO era. I'm moving from being the solopreneur and hustling my ass off and hiring people to work on my behalf that do a better job at certain things that I've been able to do. And hiring teams and that stuff is not new to me, but the shift, the internal shift that I've created around this CEO era and just stopping doing anything that doesn't feel good or the way that I want to do it, it's been a game changer. So you can have lots of little moves, but I want you to think about what is the big move that you need to make? What is the move that's going to help you make your mark and get people paying attention to you and be thinking, oh, what is she up to? I can see she's making moves. Like, we want them talking about that, because if you're making moves and they're seeing that, you're inspiring people, and they're also going to be following. They're going to want to see what's happening next, and you're going to have an opportunity to engage those people. And that's what we want, right? We want to engage with the right people, the people that are attracted to what we have to say and the way we do things. Anyway, so to leave you today, it's going to be all about what is the move that you need to make. Make it big. Make it fucking scary. Make it scary. Scary. Scary or not at all. Because a lot of the time we are underwhelmed by the moves that we're making. We're just putting one foot in front of the other, ticking the boxes, and it's fucking boring. And boring is not who we are. Boring is not how we want to live. Boring breeds average. And we're not average. We didn't come here to be average. We came here to be impressive. We came here to be exceptional. We came here to make big, bold moves and to make our mark on the internet. So think about what your move is. Let me know in the comments, or DM me if you're a bit shy. I'm happy to hear your DMs. Wherever you are watching this, I want to hear your comments. Let me know what you think. All right, that's a wrap for me. I'm recording today. It's 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. And my day is pretty much done. I'm going to edit one of these and get it up for you today. And then, yeah, it'll be the same thing next week. I'm so excited to be creating content like this again for you. I hope you're enjoying it. Let me know, though. Let me know that you're enjoying it, because otherwise I may stop doing it because I feel like no one's watching and nobody likes to continue to create content. You know, it's really interesting. I follow Mark Carroll. I do his fitness, weightlifting programs. Love him. Go watch him. Go follow him on Instagram. Go engage with his content. So he's a little needy when it comes to engagement. So he puts out regularly posts about no one's liking, no one's commenting. I don't want to create if I'm not getting engagement, and I'm selling more. I saw one of the comments that he said today is, I sold more programs than I got likes. Like, this is not okay. And like, he is very needy about like engaging with his content. So I like to keep him happy. So I'm like, oh, that's amazing. And I needed to hear that today. And, you know, I'm doing my bit to support him because I love him. I think he's amazing. And where was I going with that? I get it, right? So this is a guy that's got, I don't know how many hundreds of thousands of followers, and his engagement is so down. He shows his screenshots, like his insights, and it's fucking shit. And he's got a lot of engaged followers, but people are not seeing his content, and he's losing his will to live when it comes to creating content. And I get it. Like, we all get like that. So please, I know you're busy. I know we don't like to like and comment. I know we like to just consume and move on with our lives. I'm going to be needy today. I want to see some comments. I want to see that you love this, that you hated it, that you agree with me, that you disagree with me, the aha that you had, the next thing that you want me to talk about. Ask me questions. Let's make this a thing. Let's make this a vibe. Do that for me, please. All right, that's it. I'm going to go eat. Oh, how can I make the most of this hair though? It's looking good. Have you noticed since the first video, it started to fall? Oh, I'm popping my button. Don't want it to be doing that on the internet. Give me a second. All right, that's it. I'll see you next time.